All right, so here we go. All right, so here we are on day 5 of the Sonic VA lead generation training. And tonight we're going to focus on how to create an efficient and effective lead gen process. We're going to talk about how to use social proof to tell a story, talk about the key elements of data storytelling. These two things kind of go hand in hand with what we talked about as far as analytics, and also the methodologies of 333 and ARM. So we're going to kind of put the methodologies that we learned and tie them a bit into the data. We'll talk about how to optimize your lead funnel and why we should focus on quality over quantity. Two things we talked about all week, but we'll highlight those. We'll finish up talking about how to automate your process and how to continually improve your process. So like, as I said before, lead generation is not easy if you do it well. If you do it poorly, it can be very easy. But our goal is to start out with doing better than average lead generation. And over time, you'll learn how to do great lead generation. And that will be the difference maker, right? So you by yourself will be able to have the power of 4 people doing regular lead generation stuff. First up, using social proof to tell a story. So one of the things that you'll notice with the clients that we work with that are successful, they're great storytellers. And a lot of the clients that we attract are good storytellers. And that's why they use videos in social media, because on their video, they're able to become likable and build trust by telling stories about who they are and what they do and why they do what they do, what motivates them, what excites them. These kind of things make a difference when you're trying to promote your business. So they need to be part of the lead generation process. So social proof refers to the idea that people are influenced by the actions and opinions of others. Especially now, people are influenced by the actions and opinions of others. On social media, we see it constantly, right? Our moods there's scientific proof that our moods are directly impacted by when things are liked or not liked. When people make comments and engage with our social media, we feel an endorphin rush. When people ignore stuff, we get depressed. And even if we try hard as we can to separate that emotion from what happens on social media, we can't really be good at it. And part of the reason why I think society as a whole right now has more mental health challenges is because of social media. It's got a lot of good to it. It connects us. It allows us to share things across the globe quickly and freely and easily. But it also, I think, exposes us to a lot more things that reflect the fact that we're influenced by the actions and opinions of others, particularly those in our circle, right? So people that are trying to be successful on social media have found out that the best way to be successful is to be an influencer. And an influencer is somebody that through their actions and their opinions can influence what you do. And that's their goal, especially if their goal is to influence you to buy something from them or to join something or to enroll in something or to give them your email address. This is what they're trying to do through their influence. So in lead gen, social proof can be a powerful tool to build trust and credibility with potential customers. I talked about this all week, right? The key to lead generation is coming across so that you, your business, the products, everything you represent is likable and trustworthy. If you're not building up that credibility and trust with people, they're not going to read your messages. They're not going to respond to your compliments. They're just going to ignore them because they think they're not directed to them, the person. They can see through what is scripted messages. They know spam when they see it. So we have to get away from the old ways of doing things with lead generation to make sure that we're building trust and credibility. To use social proof effectively in lead generation, we have to consider the following strategies. We have to display customer reviews and testimonials. We have to let our customers influence for us. I've mentioned this many times that the biggest reason why we've been successful and why we haven't really hired a lead generation VA until now is that we've been getting most of our business through referrals from our clients. And those clients talk about us all the time. So they're constantly giving us reviews and testimonials as part of what they offer to their customers. So we need to constantly display that. Now, publicly, we need to do more to focus on some of our reviews and testimonials to share those with people that have not yet entered our funnel. Or if they're in our funnel, they're just at the top of the funnel. They haven't really made the decision to get more interested. They've just kind of seen it or kind of interested. How do we drag them down into the funnel? We have to make sure that they see reviews and testimonials. We also have to make sure that we share feedback and endorsements from satisfied customers and influencers. We have to share customer success stories and case studies. So we can do all of these things, right? So for example, customer reviews and testimonials on LinkedIn, we can ask for testimonials. On our Sonic VA Facebook page, we can ask for testimonials. We can ask for reviews. We can share stories of success. I do this a lot when I make my videos for YouTube. I talk about customers that we're doing things that are successful, like Marina and Michelle. We can talk about case studies, about how we took a client from here and helped the client get to here. We can talk about how we get a lot of positive feedback whenever we do trainings, whenever we do webinars, and we get endorsements from satisfied customers and influencers. Like on our website, we have videos that are little influencer endorsements from Michelle and Marina talking about Sonic Virtual Assistant. We have to utilize customer referrals and word of mouth marketing to attract new leads, right? So these are the things that we need to be able to do to tell our story based on social proof, where people will say, I love these guys because they are great at what they do, and they're affordable, and they're fast, and they just have a great sense of style, and they're really, really good at what they do. And we have to keep just building that up. It's so much easier to get someone's attention and to convert that attention from attention to a buying customer if they're doing it because somebody else vouched for us. It really doesn't work very well when we talk about ourselves and don't have any social proof attached to it. That leads us to data storytelling. Now, data storytelling takes the idea of social proof and puts data behind it. So you're actually doing storytelling around data sets. So this would be an example of, like, we would look at the data to find interesting things to talk about. We need accurate, reliable, relevant data that's relevant to the story we're trying to tell. So we have to collect that and analyze it that provides insights into our audience, our market, and our business. And so for example, we know that for business coaches, female business coaches who provide a coaching course for predominantly female clients that are involved in network marketing and direct selling, we know that that market needs a lot of videos. Now, we've done that because we've been doing, looking at the data for years to tell us that's our target market, and we keep leaning into it. So we want to look for more people like that, right? We want to find a lookalike audience for people like Michelle and Marina's followers. So we're going to gather the data and then craft the narrative around it. So the narrative would be like what ties together the data and explains what it means. Should be engaging, easy to follow, the clear beginning, middle, and end. So it's like this. So maybe I record a quick video, or we might write a short story, like a blog post, and we say, when we first started with Michelle Cunningham, or first started with Marina Simone, we did a few videos for them, and it took us a while to learn, but over time we got better, and now we've done X number of videos that have had X number of views and X number of plays, and these videos are something that we can do for you. So we go out to like Michelle's YouTube channel and we identify which videos we did for her, and we look at the views and we talk about that in the lead generation marketing, right? So we're using data to show, with Michelle, we've been able to attract on the average, 600 views for videos we've created. That's impressive. That's using data to make a point that backs up the social proof. We also can use visualizations that are clear, simple, and easy to interpret and use to support the narrative and help audiences understand the data. So when we're doing analysis, for example, we might start using some pie charts or line graphs or some kind of infographic or different things that will help us explain our process, explain why we're a better choice, explain what they can expect to see as far as our results. Now, this isn't something you're going to learn tomorrow, but over the next several months, we're going to get better and better at using visualizations in the narrative using the data. And we're going to provide context, right? So of all the people that we work with, Michelle's got, I think it was 16,000 followers or subscribers to her YouTube channel. So it's got a wide audience, right? So the context is, if you have us edit your videos, we're going to be able to help you become more like Michelle, because we're going to set goals and targets, and this is how we're going to do it, and this is the data we're going to use to prove that it's working, and this is what you should expect to see. So we know the audience, we tailor the data story to that audience, we give a call to action based on that data that Michelle's videos that we do for her get 3 times more views than the ones we don't do for her. So again, lead generation, if all you're doing is going out and grabbing email addresses, if you're going to LinkedIn and looking on people's profiles and data mining their email address, if you're going to websites and data mining their email address, and you just send them a spam, that's really not a funnel. That's really not anything you're doing that's going to really make a difference in your business as far as lead generation. This kind of funneling is how you start gathering the data that will allow you to optimize a funnel. So you define your target audience and understand their needs and pain points. So people sign up for virtual assistants because they are too busy. There's things that they can't do themselves or don't have time to do themselves or don't want to do themselves that they need to delegate. So we're always looking for people's pain. And pain meaning what keeps them up at night, what stresses them out, what makes them not as successful as they wish they could be, or they know they would be if they had more time. I talk a lot about, if you could free up your time, what would you do with it? You should focus on what only you can do. Like our tagline for Sonic VA is focus on what you do best, hire a virtual assistant for all the rest. It's all about trying to figure out how to let people know that we can take care of their pain. That if they delegate things to us that keep them busy, then it will free them up to be more successful. So our funnels are designed to do just that. So we define our target audience, small business owners, entrepreneurs in the United States, predominantly women, mostly people in direct marketing, in direct selling and network marketing. And we address their pain points. We talk about how we can make these videos for you. You don't have to do them yourself. Or if your videos aren't very great, we can do them better. And we don't want to do it in a way that would offend them. But we want to empower them by showing them if they use us, they'll be more successful. So we can create a compelling offer that speaks directly to our target audience and addresses their needs, providing value. Most of Michelle's followers that we have email addresses for. So we have 600 email addresses from Michelle. And these email addresses are people that signed up for her course because they want to accelerate their business. They want to be more like Michelle. They want to be a more successful direct seller or network marketer. And one of the ways Michelle is successful is she shares her story by video. And she does a lot of content where it's got really cool graphics, fun sound effects, really cool captions, little images that pop up. I mean, Michelle's all about rainbows and unicorns. And so we put a lot of that kind of stuff in her videos. We really lean into her brand so that we can create compelling offers. Like she can say things to them like, hey, join now and you get a free workbook. And the workbook, you get it for free, but then it's a lead capture that invites you to come into her course. And the course costs several $100s, if not $1,000. So she's trying to get somebody to come into her funnel, and she's using our videos to do that. So we talk to her clients and say, hey, we did this for Michelle, we can do it for you. So we build a landing page that optimizes for conversions. This page captures the visitor's attention and clearly communicates the value of the offer. Simple Google forms, lead capture forms, so that when we promote things to people via email or we send direct messages and they say, how do I learn more? Then we give them a link to a Google form, they fill it out, and then boom, we can follow up. We get them into our funnel. The lead generation starts when they say, I want to know more, or they agree that we can send them more. And then we give them that link to the Google form. And we drive traffic to that funnel by posting things on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, talking about, why a VA is a great investment. What are the top 10 things a VA can do? If you've never worked with a VA before, here's how you get started. So we find things, again, that address the fact that our potential clients are in pain because they need to delegate some stuff and they don't know who to delegate it to. So we solve that pain by offering them our virtual assistant services. And we drive traffic to the funnel. We optimize our lead capture forms by minimizing the number of form fields, using clear and concise copy, and testing different form designs, right? So we can play around with it. What do we need to have in that form? It will change. What's the minimums we need to have them fill out? We don't want people filling out a lot of stuff. People don't like filling out a lot of information. If all we need is their email address or their phone number, then we just get that. We don't need their home address. We don't need, sometimes that's useful to have information for us, but we only want to ask for it if it's not cumbersome. Like we ask for province and city in the Philippines because it's important to us. It's not so important for us to know that about people in the US. We can figure that out based on their phone number, because their phone number has an area code that's attached to a certain geographic location. We can ask for them, what's the best time to contact you? Is it in Eastern, Central, Mountain, or Pacific time? That way we can get an idea of where in the US they live. So we don't have to ask them for like all the information about where they live. We can get it other ways. So this is how you optimize your lead capture form, by minimizing the number of fields so it's clear and concise. And then we test it. We nurture leads with relevant personalized content like email marketing campaigns, retargeted ads, and other forms of targeted communication, right? So when they sign up with us, we send them a newsletter. We ask them to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and maybe we give them a freebie to encourage them to do that. Maybe we offer them a 5-step guide on how to use a virtual assistant for lead generation. So one of the things we'll do is we'll make a 1-page document that has the 5 steps to lead generation, or maybe we'll record a short 30 to 60-second video saying, these are the 5 things you need to know about doing lead generation with a virtual assistant. And we'll offer that as a freebie if they sign up. So this is how we're going to use the lead funnel, right? It's going to start out as a simple Google form. We're going to can always be looking at how to optimize it. As that Google form gives us more information, we'll be able to do it for analysis. We'll look and see what's working. And maybe eventually we use a different CRM, a tool, right? So Michelle, for example, uses Kajabi for her lead capture. There's several of them out there. You can do lead capture in any number of ways, but Google Forms are free, they're easy, and it's a good place to start. The more lead generation you do, and you've probably already done some lead generation and with other clients that may use some of these apps that are lead generation apps. So that's how we optimize our funnel and how we'll help them optimize their funnels, by following this kind of methodology. Let's move on to focus on quality over quantity. Higher conversion rates, right? Quality leads are more engaged and are more likely to take action and make a purchase. It doesn't do us any good to talk to somebody who's got no interest in ever having a virtual assistant. And somebody who's happy being a corporate employee, has no ambition whatsoever to ever be an entrepreneur, never wants to have a side hustle. And if we hit them with a message saying, hey, sign up with a VA, they're going to ignore it. But if we look at people that have been in their job for a while, have gotten really good at it, are probably in some cases hitting a ceiling in their current employment, and they're probably thinking it might be time for me to monetize what I know and set up my own business. I just need someone to tell me how to start, and I need help doing it. So we look for the difference between those two people, right? So if you look at somebody on LinkedIn who fits that profile, we send them a message. If we see somebody on LinkedIn who does not fit that profile, we don't send them a message, right? So we're looking for quality leads, not quantity. This leads to higher conversion rates, right? So we spend less energy getting high quality people, and we don't waste energy on people who will never be customers. So we improve customer retention this way, right? Quality leads are more likely to become long-term customers because they're a better fit for your business. It doesn't do us any good to sign up people we can't help. I turn away clients sometimes because they don't have a system, they don't understand their business, they're really confused, and we're not in business to be their business coach. For example, we had one client today that we're talking about that wants us to figure out their entire brand and kind of start from scratch because they're not happy with their current branding colors, their logo. They don't really have a clear idea what they're trying to accomplish. And I told them, we're not really a branding company. We are a virtual assistant company. You give us tasks, we complete those tasks. You say you want a new Facebook banner using this brand color and this logo, we'll make you a Facebook banner and it will look really cool. But we're not going to figure out what your brand is. That's not our cup of tea. So we improve customer relations by taking on quality leads that are likely to become long-term customers. So every time we look at somebody out there in their profile, we think to ourselves, I want to send them a message to invite them to come into our funnel. We want to kind of assess, do we think they're going to be a long-term customer? Do they fit a profile that makes us think that they're going to be using us for years? And if it is, then we put a higher value on trying to land them, right? Maybe we connect with them extra times. Maybe we do additional compliments and do a little more 333 because we really think they're going to be a good, valuable long-term client. Maybe they're not ready today, but we think they'll be ready in the next year. So we keep messaging them every couple months versus somebody who just doesn't look like we're going to be able to work with at all. Then we don't message them. We save our time. This gives better ROI. By targeting prospects you're more likely to convert, you can reduce the cost of acquiring a new customer, right? Acquiring new customers is much more expensive than retaining customers. Reactivating customers that have gone cold is much easier than trying to bring somebody new in. So we're going to focus on two things. We're going to focus on trying to reactivate people we've worked with in the past, or people who have at least been in our funnel in the past, even if they didn't buy anything from us. And we're going to work at trying to work at people that are second connections, that are friends of friends, because there's a lot of word of mouth. They probably already heard about us. They probably know about us from that mutual connection. And we're going to be able to spend less time trying to acquire brand new customers when we can reactivate old leads and we can bring in leads that are already technically in the funnel because they know about us. And this will reduce churn, right? Reducing churn is a big deal. Low quality leads are more likely to churn, meaning spin out, start and stop really quickly, and become inactive over time. This means you need to spend more time resourcefully generating new leads to replace them. We've had high churn with our customers, right? We currently have about 35 active customers. We've worked with over 100 customers at one point that have stopped. In many cases, they stopped because they ran out of money. In a few cases, they stopped because the VA wasn't the right match, but most of them stop because they get distracted and they're spending money on something else. Instead of spending money on our videos, they're spending money on somebody else's business course. Or instead of trying to use our services to do better graphics, they're spending money on paying a digital agency thousands of dollars to do their graphics, and we can do it better and cheaper. So we need to reactivate those people. We need to get in front of those people that we've had conversations with before and try to reactivate them. This will reduce the churn and give us the chance to spend less resources on acquiring brand new customers, which improves our ROI. So by targeting the right prospects with the right message, you can build a strong and sustainable customer base that will drive long-term growth. We need more Michelles. We need more Marinas. We need more people that are going to be with us for years and are going to consistently refer people to us because they're influencers and they love what we do so much they talk about it for free. So this is what our really big effort is going to be. So we're going to do all the things we talked about the 333. We're going to do the ARM. We're going to look at the analytics. We're going to post on different platforms. We're going to use, messages that we develop for email and for direct messages. We're going to record some videos, but all of it's going to be really focused on people that are either already have been in our funnel and fell out of it, or people who kind of came in the top of the funnel, but haven't gone all the way through. All right, we're almost done. We'll talk about the automation process, right? So again, this is like theoretical down the road stuff. I don't expect you to be able to automate lead generation process tomorrow. But over time, if you really become a lead generation expert, if you just lean into this to the point where you become one of the best lead generation experts around, you'll be able to do things like this. You'll be able to automate lead generation processes to help save resources and time while increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of your efforts. Using lead generation software, like that list we saw in ChatGPT of all the different softwares that are designed to make lead generation quicker, faster, better. This will help you automate tasks like lead capture and lead nurturing, right? So this is where you have tools like Kajabi or HubSpot or Hootsuite, where when someone signs up for your service, when they go into your funnel, then they get auto-generated a response, right? So if someone was to send Michelle through her funnel their email address, then Kajabi would automatically reply with welcome to my, welcome to my ecosystem, welcome to my tribe. And here's what's next for you. And it will then, based on what happens next, if they reply, if they submit something, if they buy something, it will generate a response. If they don't do anything, it'll generate a response. So you automate a lot of that initial conversation that we're going to do manually because we need to learn the process, and we're going to do it on the cheap because that's how most of our clients do it. Most clients can't afford Kajabi. So we need to be able to do things that are free and easy to understand, which is why we're going to start out with a simple Google Sheet. Now, eventually we'll graduate to where we do things in different tools. Maybe we decide to purchase a license for HubSpot. Maybe we decide to invest in LinkedIn Navigator. We'll decide that when we figure out that we need that tool to help us automate some of this stuff. When you're able to implement marketing automation by sending target emails, automated social media posts and managing your lead database, you get more efficient, right? So you go from being a manual lead generation person to being somebody managing the automation. And that's a big, big time saver, right? So you can spend more time thinking strategically and less time just being a worker bee. And this is where, as a lead generation VA, you can go from what everybody's doing and they're getting paid free $4, if that, an hour. And some of you are doing it for free, only making a commission. Some are getting paid like $1 an hour and then get a commission. You can go from that kind of mentality and that kind of monetary success to being paid by clients to automate and maintain their process and getting paid, $10, $20 an hour, and freeing yourself up from having to do all this manual work for one client to be that for $4 an hour, to be able to automate stuff for multiple clients getting paid $20 an hour. And that's how you grow a lead generation VA business, which is something that maybe someday down the road, Jerry, that's what you end up doing. Who knows? But we want to kind of get ourselves in a point where we can understand what's possible so we can help our clients work in that direction. You can use social automation to automate tasks, right? You can schedule posts on Facebook business pages. You can plan out an entire month of posts ahead of time, put them all in there, and then it will auto post. We could even implement a scoring system to help prioritize leads, right? So right now I'm telling you like how we're going to do it, like on LinkedIn. Like we're going to look for people that work for Wells Fargo for more than 10 years that have an expertise in a certain discipline that could be turned into a coaching business. So we're going to profile them and give them basically a score, high, medium, or low as far as like how excited we are about them. But that's the kind of thing that you can score, right? So you can have systems and tools. Some of the lead generation tools that ChatGPT mentioned do scoring. And then of course you can use AI and machine learning to automate your lead gen process by analyzing data, identifying patterns, and making recommendations, right? So you can get some of these tools we talked about here on ChatGPT. They really automate stuff like Marketo. It basically right there leans into it. Automation software provides lead generation management capabilities such as lead scoring, nurturing, and segmentation, right? So this is like what big companies are doing. And what we want to be able to do is take some of these elements and prepare ourselves to understand them, how they work conceptually, so that even if our client's not ready to buy a license to Marketo, we can tell them about it and we can give them an idea of how to move in that direction. And you'll get more experience in working with things like this so that eventually you can become an expert in, say, Kajabi or Marketo, and then you can charge more because you're now an expert in this lead generation tool. So that's kind of how automating the process fits in. So we want to be able to ultimately continually improve our process, right? Process improvement is the practice of identifying, analyzing, and optimizing existing processes in order to increase efficiency, reduce waste, and improve outcomes. Now, there are a couple of well-known process improvement methodologies that I've had experience in, and they can help with lead generation. One of them is called Six Sigma. The one's called Lean or Lean Sigma. There are other ones out there, but these are very, very commonly used in a lot of the big BPO companies. A lot of big corporations use them. They're things that, again, you can learn a little bit about. And if you really want to learn more about it, you can really dive into it. But the idea, again, is that we want to be thinking about how to help our clients identify, analyze, and optimize their processes to increase efficiency, reduce waste, and improve outcomes. So this is why we're spending so much time talking about lead generation with analytics and with data and with methodologies and with automation, because real good lead generation involves all of that. And really simple lead generation doesn't really involve all of that, but it can mimic some of it. It can borrow some of it. It can learn. You can learn to do very simple lead generation, but do it influenced by things like Six Sigma or Lean Sigma that are process improvement things. The goal involves examining your current lead generation process and identifying areas where improvements can be made to increase the number of high quality leads and improve conversion rates. Our ultimate goal with lead generation is to get high quality leads all the way through our funnel, to get their interest, to get them to follow our call to action, to sign up, to sign up and to pay us and to keep paying us over time and be so happy that when they're paying us, they'll speak about us to their friends and start influencing for us. This happens when you have a process that works. We have a process that works for Michelle and for Marina. We edit their videos in a way that for them is like automated, and it helps them with their lead generation. Because whenever Michelle or Marina puts out a video, it drives people as a call to action to go sign up in their system. And so it's part of their lead generation process to do these videos. So this is something that we need to understand, that overall process. So to be able to do process improvement, you have to map out your current lead generation process, right? So if you were to build a flow chart, so we can see it visually, step by step, what happens right now. And we can look at and circle, highlight steps in that process that need improvement, right? Areas where it takes up a lot of time, it's manual, it's causing confusion. And then once we identify the areas for improvement, we can set goals and metrics and do analytics around whether the changes we make are actually working. And then we can keep testing and iterate and reiterating and iterating different channels for lead generation, right? We can try it different ways. So we're going to try LinkedIn and we're going to try Facebook. And then we monitor and optimize our process so that involves, tweaking and nurturing the emails we send out or the direct messages we send. Like every time we get a new connection on LinkedIn, every time the Sonic VA page gets a new follower, what do we send them? And it will evolve over time, but we'll try things out. We'll test things. We'll adjust what our criteria is for a good lead. Right now I have in my mind on LinkedIn what we should be looking for. I have in my mind what we should be looking for on Sonic VA's Facebook page, but we'll see if that evolves. And then we'll optimize the funnel for better lead capture, right? So we'll start with a Google form, but eventually it will lead us to something bigger. So maybe something like Marketo or Kajabi. So that's the plan. And again, this is not something that you're going to learn in a couple of days. This is going to take several months. All right, so just to wrap this section up, I'll finish up the lecture here. The key learnings: by identifying your audience, gathering data, analyzing, crafting a narrative, choosing the right channels, and measuring the results, you can create compelling stories that resonate with your audience. So that's our goal, Jerry. We want to be able to create compelling stories. We have a lot of content. We have a lot of good stories to tell. We have a lot of good testimonials. We get tons of referrals. We need to figure out how to use all those things to get more people into our funnel. And when they get in our funnel, we need to be able to convert them. And that's your big goal, right? Your big goal is to increase the number of people that I meet with. We're going to measure that by the number of appointments that we set up and the number of people that we convert to customers and the number of customers that pay us. And so we're going to have very easy to measure metrics around whether this is working or not. And then also by defining our ideal customer, using automation tools, offering valuable content, streamlining lead capture forms, nurturing leads, measuring results, we can generate more quality leads. So we will consistently discuss on a regular basis, you and I, what else can we do to make it even better? So we're going to have to accept the fact that whatever we start out with is just phase one. And there will be many phases to come on what we do to make sure that we're capturing the best quality leads we can capture.